What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Gamer Chat, and this is going to be another, I'd say review slash first impressions, but it's been over like a week and a half, so it's not really that much of a first impression. And my person here who is going to be chatting with me today, Leo, who isn't a stranger to the channel. He's been on before. We spoke about Assassin's Creed Shadows back in the day when that came out.
Mhm.
So it's been a minute since you've been on. Been
It
over a
has, it
year.
has.
Been over a year, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we're gonna talk about Marathon, a little game that just came out the 5th of March. Um, before we start, have you played the server slam or any of the closed betas regarding to it?
I did, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That was quite enjoyable. The server slam was the first time I had an opportunity to try the game,
Mm-hmm.
and for me it was really interesting because I am a Bungie fan. I enjoy many of the games they have made in the past, and I was someone who was a little bit skeptical about Marathon and the direction they were taking. But because I really like the games these people make, and because I know they always do something interesting with the games they make, I wanted to try it, and the Server Slam was an opportunity for me to try it. And when I did, I think I fell in love with the game just about immediately. I think it's one of those games where when you look upon it from the side or from a distance, it doesn't quite convey everything that it is, right? But then
Mm-hmm.
when you get your hands on it and you actually start pressing buttons, you start playing it yourself, like that's when you know whether this is for you or not. And for me, like it was absolutely for me. I love this game so far.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Marathon, Bungie's latest game. It's an extraction shooter, which is all the crave at the moment. There was the big sensation last year, Arc Raiders. I didn't
hmm
play any Arc Raiders. I played it during the beta, but I think there was just too many other games at that time that I was just trying to consume. So I didn't play.
Yeah.
Did you play Arc Raiders or your type of game? Or
I briefly played Arc Raiders, and truth be told, it did not really hold my attention. And I've played other extraction games in the past.
mm-hmm.
I have a little bit of Hunt experience, a little bit of Tarkov experience. I enjoyed them a reasonable amount. Arc, though, I don't know. There's just something about it that didn't really hook me the way it seemed to hook everyone else. And Marathon, uh, that was the game that really grabbed me and refuses to let go.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely agree. And the reason why I bring up Arc Raiders for anyone who's listening, it's because this is the game that is basically compared to Marathon. There's always, when one game comes out, there's another one in the genre that they'll always compare it to. It's just like
Yeah,
Call of Duty, Battlefield, uh,
yeah,
Destiny, with some other sort of like maybe Warframe, but I feel like those are two anomalies. Like,
yeah.
but yeah, but with Marathon, how many hours have you sank into it since release, may I ask?
So I have not had the opportunity to play as much as some of my friends, but already put in 57 hours Steam claims.
God
So
damn.
yeah, I'm enjoying the game. It's fun.
Yeah, I'll quickly check mine because I'm not actually too sure about mine right now. Uh, uh, PlayStation right now says that it's 42 hours. So you probably put more in than me. I'm currently level like 43 at the moment as well. So
hmm
like I'm doing my best to try and climb the whole way up to level 100, doing all
Yeah,
the
I would like to
quests.
do that.
Yeah, but this is the new extraction shooter, which is a first for Bungie. We would know Bungie for Halo. We'd also know them for Destiny, of course. But before all that, there was a game called Marathon, and there was a trilogy. Or was there four? Was there three or four Marathon games?
I believe there were three. There was
Three.
Marathon, Marathon 2, Durandal, and Marathon Infinity.
Infinity, yes. And they were first person shooters, basically. Nowadays, they would call them boomer shooters, basically, is what they would call them, I think.
Yeah, at the time, it's funny, we just mentioned when games are compared to other games that are their contemporaries. At the time, Marathon was very much compared to like Doom.
Yes, yeah, yeah. and I played through them. I want to say at some point last year. I skimmed through a bit them. I didn't really pay too much attention to the lore because it was just too much reading for me. And that's how you got the lore in the game. Like there wasn't
Yeah,
like amazing cutscenes or anything like that as you'd get nowadays. It's just lots of words just on a page or on a terminal basically that would just show up, and that's how you'd get
indeed.
your information. But let's I suppose we if we can just talk for people that are listening, the core concept of this game is you you deploy for a run on one of three maps, four at some point, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
You drop in, you can either go in with loot that you already own and extract, or you would then like search around the map, kill some AI enemies, which would be called the UESC, and who, may I add, are no joke whatsoever.
Yeah, they will
They're
kill you if you're not paying attention.
absolutely, but they have nerfed them a little bit, I must say. Like some of the quests I was doing before the nerf were just ridiculous and so frustrating that I kept getting downed. It's like there's no
Mm-hmm.
way that these guys should be this hard. And the main goal is get in, get as much loot as you can, or the rarest loot you can, and be an extract. And that's to try and survive against other players and the AI within the world. And for me, I think this. I read something on Twitter, I think maybe 2 days ago, which changed my perspective of how I went in. Like when we see these type of games, and as someone who's sank thousands of hours into Destiny, I have a fear of losing all my loot.
Yeah.
And this game, it pushes you in the direction of you have to get over that fear. You have to
Yeah.
go in. Like it's high risk, high reward. Don't worry. Like you'll be doing factions that you'll get some stuff back, and with the more faction stuff you unlock, you will get more free gear, and you can go in, and then hopefully for the best that just progressively going through,
Yeah.
you will get better loot. There are six main shells, and then there is so we've got the destroyer,
Mm-hmm.
we've got assassin,
Mm-hmm.
we've got vandal,
Yeah.
we have got triage, which is a healer, one of the main characters, I think. We've got thief, who, from what I've seen, a lot of people have been having fun with, messing about,
Very interesting mechanics. Yeah.
and recon, which is previously known as Blackbird. So these are the six, and there is one additional character called the Rook, and this is a character where you go in with, you basically go in with a set amount of stuff. You can't do any quests or anything like that, and you go in to lobbies where there's 3v3 lobbies, so you can't like you can bump into someone, and you're pretty gonna be either gonna bump into another Rook, or you're gonna bump into a three stack a team. And I have had the unfortunate uh, timing of being beat by certain enemies, and then I take a corner and there is just a whole team looking at me, and I'm like, oh well, this is the end. This is my end.
Yeah.
And then they just down you. Um, Speaking about the shells, which shell do you use the most?
So it's really interesting. In team contexts, I will either use Destroyer or Assassin for the most part. I think they both provide different things to a team.
Mm.
I really like Destroyer because he can just like freak people out. Like he can just run at them with his shield. He can air dash to the side or over their head. And it's very, he really prompts a response from the enemy player.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if a destroyer is like bearing down on you, you have to do something, right? Especially if his team is also there.
Yeah.
So that's really fun. I enjoy, pulling my shield out and wasting their ammo, air dashing to the side, killing them during their reload, right? Like things like that. And then Assassin is, its value is pretty obvious. Very controversial in solos. I do play it quite a lot in solos. but even in team contexts, Assassin lets you do certain PvE objectives that would otherwise be slower or draw more attention.
Yeah,
So, you
I
know,
definitely agree with that.
like he can smoke, he can cloak. Smoke drops all UASC aggro pretty much immediately.
Yeah,
So it's like really helpful for exfils, guarded exfils especially become, I'm kind of giving away the game a little bit, but like, players know, those who play the shell. Like they know how easy guarded exfils are to use as assassin
absolutely.
because you can just call it in, hide somewhere, wait for the timer for the beacon to actually like activate, and then you don't even have to kill anything. You can just drop your smoke or cloak and leave that way. And especially if you're with your team, you can provide like safe passage for your team to leave through, basically. And this extends to things like supply drops, things like secured resource caches where you hack them and it spawns bots, right?
Yeah,
Like those kind of little PvE objectives as well, you can more or less cheese using Assassin because you can trigger it, walk away, wait for the alarms to stop, and then just smoke in, steal everything, and leave. You don't have to like actually do any combat. So those are the two I play, Destroyer and Assassin. They are both very fun. But I would like to learn Thief at some point because she is crazy. Like the kind of stuff she can do is like just unbelievable.
absolutely. I've seen so many clips of people are literally about to extract, and
Yeah.
their prestige items are just taken out of their pockets just like that, and
hmm
then they don't even see it until it's too late. They've already extracted. And then there's the drone that she has that I see people tossing claymores on top of, and then just
Yeah.
downing people. But that's like with that being said, that is like the main objective, and the main gameplay is basically go in with one of these shells. You either die, deploy again, and as the caption of the game is, or the phrase, escape will make me God,
Yep.
which is so hard. It's such a that quote goes so hard.
I love that line.
Yeah. And there's three maps. There's available. There is Perimeter, which is the first map. There is Outpost, which is the second map, and then after you hit level 12, I believe, you then unlock Outpost. And
It's perimeter, dire marsh, and then outpost. Yeah.
what? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And do you have a favorite of one of those three maps?
I'll be honest, I think outpost is doing some really interesting things. It's very difficult to survive on,
Mm-hmm.
but there's just something about the atmosphere and about like all the mechanics therein
Yes.
that I find really compelling and really cool. The fact that you load in and your first time there, you're not sure what to expect. And a few minutes in, you realize it's like raining fire from the sky and you can't stay outside and you have to like get indoors.
Yeah.
That's kind of an unforgettable experience the first time you see it. And then the
Absolutely.
fact
Yeah.
that, like the previous two maps, they're a little bit more barren in terms of uh, the events of the story, right? Like they
Absolutely.
have
Yeah.
already been picked clean. They have already, um, you know, there's not that much presence of anything there. But when you get to Outpost, it's like this is a proper UESC installation that is very much still, active. And so everything here wants to kill you a lot more aggressively. Everything here demands security clearance if you want to like get to places, or sometimes if you even want to exfil out of the map, right? Like you feel like you're a lot more unwelcome on Outpost than the other maps. And it provides a really interesting feeling because fewer teams spawn on that map, but somehow it feels so much more like
Happens.
intense.
Yeah. It feels like you're always going to bump into a team more because of the one main objective, which is probably the coolest thing on that map, which
Yeah,
is the
definitely.
pinwheel. When you like, so basically, you find these access key cards. Sometimes there's green ones, sometimes there's yellow ones, and then there is the master security key card. And if you get the master security key card, you can basically unlock override any of the locks.
Yeah.
And when that happens, like there's like a timer that goes down basically, and then just waves of enemies just spawn, and you're like, oh my god, what the heck? So there's just you just turn into a little horde mode and just hope for the best that you can wipe them before they wipe you, and hope for the best that another team isn't coming. But
Yeah.
when that security alarm does go off, people around the map are notified that that place is now being opened.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then once you get there, there's this elevator, and then you go up. I remember when I did it for the first time, I was like, dude, what the heck is
It's a
going on
completely
here?
different game.
It's a
Yeah,
different
like
map. It's a completely different map. Like I went in and I was like, wait, why is this hallway still going? Where am I going? And I don't know how you like I assume you've been to the top of Pinwheel.
I have, yeah.
Yeah, like it is so cool and so rewarding. Once
There's a lot of really good stuff you can find in there, yeah, which is it's kind of what the race on that map is all about, right? Like you want to be the first team there because if you are the first team there, you know, you have a little bit of a defender's advantage. You have a little bit of a first come, first serve advantage where you can kind of take your pick of whatever happens to be in all the containers and whatnot. But on the other hand, it also means that you're the team who has to fight the AI that is there. So,
absolutely,
and especially
absolutely.
as you get closer to like the command wing and stuff, like uh some of the enemies there can be pretty durable,
Oh, very
even
tanky.
post nerfs. Yeah.
Very tanky. Like when I go to Outpost, I always use my destroyer shell
Yeah.
because I need to use my search and destroy to try and take down the purple shields. And then
Hmm.
when it comes to the environments that have been made, like we talked about like all three maps, I enjoy how like barren the first one is in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
So like there is that sense of there is the sense that of curiosity.
Yeah,
And then when you get to Dire Marsh, you're just like, this map hates you, and
it does.
you've only taken 5 steps.
Yeah.
And for those who haven't played or probably will play, like you're walking and all of a sudden there is this like pus mist that will just go off beside you, and then you start taking tick damage. There are tick infestation nests that come after you like there's no tomorrow. So if you get hit if you get hit by any one of those, it just like keeps ticking down, ticking down, ticking down. And on top of all that, the UESE being everywhere, scattered around the map, and they have there's turrets everywhere that you get seen by that, it's on site, you're just dead.
It's making noise. Others
Yeah,
can hear you. Yeah.
like this map is just not like you have to be very stealthy, and that was something I didn't do when I first played the first couple of runs. And I was getting frustrated. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm losing everything." But I I read a tweet, and I was like, it changed my entire perspective. I play, I now play this game when I play solos as if it's a Splinter Cell game.
Yeah, it's a stealth game. It's like a
It's
PvP stealth game. It's so fascinating.
like it. I was so baffled. I was like, "Oh my god, this is so correct." So I just mainly use assassin. I go in there. I just sneak around corners, sneak into
Kill stuff with your
vents.
knife.
Exactly. The knife is just so clutch. Like once you do upgrades, like you're pretty okay to just go around just one-shotting things with a knife. Like I've got purple implants that basically help me uh get shields back whenever I get hit.
Hmm.
So I'm like, oh my god, this is fantastic. And
Yeah.
like I think Outpost, what makes Outpost the best map of the three is how dense it is.
Yes. Yes.
Like there's just in each room there is something interesting to find, and you're always going to be curious. Have you found many keys for any of the lockable doors?
I personally have not, but I've had friends who have, and I have managed to loot at least one of those with them. I think there's like more loot in one of those than a single player can carry out on their own.
Absolutely.
So it's one of those things where like I think the game intends for you to loot it as a team.
Yeah. Like I went into Outpost and I got a shed key for Complex in Dire Marsh, and I was like, "Oh my god, I need to exfil fast." I was like, "I need to
Yeah,
take this as so when I even just that one singular thing, like there might be like way more loot, but like seeing something like that, it's like, oh my god, that's for a completely different map. I need to
yeah.
exfil. I
That is something I love about this game. How like your objectives are ultimately like quite organic. I posted about this briefly elsewhere, but you know, you do have formal goals and formal tasks to pursue,
mm-hmm.
but what you're pursuing and what your goals are, it can really change very fluidly depending on your context, your situation, what you end up finding, right? It
Yeah,
makes you reevaluate like what you want in that moment. And that feeling of like you get something you don't want to lose and it immediately makes you start thinking about getting out of here. It's like now, you know, the way you approach the rest of the session is immediately very different.
absolutely, and especially if you find something on one side of the map and the exfil is at the complete opposite side.
Yeah.
And then you're like, your heart's racing. You're like, oh no, I got. How am I supposed to get around here? And then obviously the best way to do that is to use assassin just to stay hidden, stealthy. And uh, there's one thing that I appreciate is the Dire Marsh has its own little public event that you could say if you were to copy it from Destiny or like something brought up from Destiny where it's called the lockdown.
The lockdown, yeah.
I've only done one of those and I was like, this is so cool. Like me and my friends, we wiped everybody on the map with like 15, like I want to say between 13 to 15 minutes left in the map. And then the lockdown came and I was like, I've got antivirus kits if anyone wants to pop in there and we try and do something. We're like, yeah, sure. So it was just us on the map and just doing that. And we were just kind of like getting good loot progressively because it three of these big massive uh squares appear on the map and they show up in different locations. So once you complete one of them, you move on to the next one, and
Yeah.
then vice versa to the next one. And at the end, I remember I got uh, a marathon key. So
Hell yeah.
I was like, oh my god, finally a marathon key. I was looking for these for ages. So I got one. Mine's like marathon key number 4, which has me very curious about what's actually going to be needed for these keys. If I'm being completely honest with you,
Yeah, I have something to mention about that in a moment, but go on.
like when, but with that, like I love how finding secrets and finding all these stuff in other maps gives you like incentive to go back to another map and be like,
Yes, yes.
and then like you're praying that you just don't get killed in the process to open said thing with that key.
Yeah. What I love about it is Marathon has this like sense of persistence that makes the world feel alive in a way that is a lot closer to, you know, something you would get in a single player game
Yeah,
than what you would typically get in like an instance-based shooter, even though that is what the game ultimately is.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
in a lot of other games, like your actions on one map are largely disconnected from your actions on other maps. You know, the match is over and then that's it, you know? Like it has no bearing on the rest of what you play by
yeah,
and large. But in Marathon, that is very much not the case, you know? Like everything you manage to pull out of a map, you can use that on the next map you play. And then, like you said, depending on what you get, it may incentivize you to revisit another map in a very targeted manner. On the note of those marathon keys, I believe the game's director, when he was asked about how many teams populate on each map,
mm,
mentioned something like, you know, Perimeter is 5 teams, Dire Marsh is 6 teams, and Outpost is 4 teams. But then when he mentioned the final map, Cryo Archive, he said, quote unquote, it has its own thing. So, like, what does that even mean? Right? Like, that's the kind of thing that really makes my brain, like, go into overdrive and start thinking about what could he possibly mean by that? To me, it suggests that, are we even going to be loading into CryoArchive the way we load into all the other maps? Because it kind of sounds like the answer to that is no.
Absolutely. That's what
Otherwise,
I think too. Yes.
yeah, like why would there be something that makes it impossible to say, there's a fixed number of teams per session on this map like the other ones, right? Like, yeah.
Absolutely. And well, just before we got to sit down and record, we got some breaking news regarding the Cryo Archive, which is the Fort map. So it will have requirements to enter the map. And these
Yeah.
requirements are you must unlock all 6 factions. So for those who aren't aware, the game has factions where you can find out the lore basically a bit more, and you're rewarded for each one. So you've got the Cyber Acme, which is the first one you get. Then you've got New
Yeah.
Caloric. Then you've got Traxxas, Mida, what would you say? Arachne?
Arachne.
Arachne,
Yeah.
and then Sekaguchi. So
Yeah.
these are the 6 factions that you unlock, and you'll
Yeah, they
unlock them
kind
by going
of
through each quest, basically.
yeah, they all have like their own kind of main quest line, and then you can also do generic quests that, give you some amount of XP or reputation with each of them.
Absolutely. And do you have a favorite faction? I know I'm sorry to like jump back. I'll jump back to Cryo Archive in a second, but do you have any faction
Um,
that you like the most?
to be honest, I think they're all really cool, which is quite rare for me in these kind of games, but I do have some that I lean toward. I think I really like Arachne in terms of flavor and just vibes. I think
Absolutely.
it's so fascinating and interesting to me that like you could argue Arachne are the most honest faction in the game
Yes.
because most of the others, they're kind of just using runners incidentally for like what they can provide, right?
Exactly.
It's like they don't really care about us, but Arachne, like they actually they sort of appreciate us for what we are in a way.
Yeah,
They're like a death cult that worships, killing and dying. And the reason they are, so much in Runner's Corner is because runners are capable of killing and dying an infinite number of times, right?
absolutely. But yeah, no, I think mine would also be Arachne, but I love the art style of Traxxas, like just the
Yes,
faction, the
yes,
way it's the lion,
same.
and Sekiguchi has like, oh, what a cute little silkworm, you know,
Yes,
very soothing
yes.
voice.
That's Mother. Yeah.
Yes, and like each faction like stands out so much, which is fantastic to see.
hmm
I feel like we will get another faction at some point.
I assume so as well because when Orion, the UESC faction representative, kind of hijacks your neural link at the beginning of the game to basically tell you to, get out of here. You're not welcome on Tau Ceti. He's presented very similarly to the other faction leaders.
Yes,
So there is a chance we will eventually be able to like
join
work
with
for
the
them.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
which
feeling
would be
too.
interesting.
Or like maybe as a rook,
Oh yeah.
like that kind of links up because Bungie loves using sevens. So as we know, we've got 6 frames plus the rook, which is the 7th frame.
Yeah.
There is even throughout their trophies. I'm not sure if you saw some of their trophies that they've done, where it's like read. Some of them are like loot 777 uh
Containers, yeah.
containers expelled 7 times. Uh, there is unlock 7 capstones. Like like they love the number 7. That's just something that
Yeah.
they've always liked, and they the way that this game goes so far is I've never been more ready to see what the heck is on Cryo Archive.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
they've been teasing this for ages, and when this game came out, they asked reviewers not to give an actual like review score
Yeah,
until
like they gently suggested that, they should wait until Cryo Archive is in the game,
yeah.
which I personally feel is completely fair, as someone who does review games on occasion myself. I
when
think once you play Marathon on your own, like it makes sense why they would recommend that. Because it's like it's not an embargo, it's not a mandate. You can feel free to just go ahead and ignore it if you want. But
but I will say this
yeah.
now, but I'm gonna get a little bit offensive. If you're one of those fucking morons that are like playing the game for an hour or less, like, it's not great, and you've barely scratched the surface, or there's that one guy I've seen that's using an SMG trying to shoot halfway across the map at a bot, and you're like, I was like, buddy,
Yeah.
at least learn the ways of the game before you start trashing it.
No, yeah,
'Cause-
Marathon is a difficult game, and it will very happily kill you if you do not approach it on its terms. But I think that is why it is so swiftly grown such a passionate player base. Because it's like players play this game, and the ones that really like it, they realize that there's kind of nothing else like this game. Like even if you like other extraction shooters and you come to this game and you appreciate for what it is, yeah, there's just nothing else I've played that is quite like this.
Yeah, and do you know what this whole review thing is that reminds me so much about? That it reminds me of Vault of Glass and Destiny. Remember
Yes.
when the
Yes,
game first
exactly.
came out and people were like, "Oh, there's not a lot there," and then Vault of Glass happened, and you're like, "Whoa,
It just
what's this thing?"
completely
Like,
yeah,
you're
it
right.
recontextualized everything and everyone's perception of like what the game was.
Yeah, so that's what I'm kind of like. I know this sounds stupid, okay, but this is just me thinking out. Like, this is probably not going to happen whatsoever, but like, what if the Cryo Archive is mainly a PvE thing, but the bosses are just ridiculously hard?
I think that is in fact exactly what it is, and that's why, we had this smooth escalation of perimeter to dire marsh to outpost, and then already with outpost, like outpost is significantly more PvE heavy than the other
Exactly.
maps, like by its very nature.
Yeah,
And Cryo Archive being set on the Marathon ship, right? Like, kind of huge in terms of the game's narrative.
absolutely.
Um,
And
from the trailers, we see a compiler in in the Cryo Archive, so
exactly,
that's spooky.
exactly. And that's why I'm just like, okay. So, like, do we get to fill as a team for PvE? That, like, make it like a big strike as it was with raid like mechanics in Destiny, that type of way.
Yeah, I
If
wonder.
that's or like maybe even put another team in there at some point, or
Yeah.
but
It's something I've been pondering and thinking about, and one possibility is that the PvE burden of the map is just so hard
mm-hmm,
that one team on their own, it's like impractical to beat with, if that makes sense. And so
absolutely,
that can be one way they sort of encourage a little bit of that like tenuous alliance stuff going on. But at the end of the day, this is still a game where Arachne exists as a faction, and that's a lot of rep you can get by like landing a finisher on one or two guys, you know?
absolutely. Like, I saw a quest that's like, I'm not sure if it's an actual quest or not now, but it's like in a single run, kill 9 runners. You're just like, Jesus, that's a whole team that you're gonna have to do fill for that. But
Yeah,
hmm, I think that this is going to change the narrative of the game completely,
I think so too.
especially with we know who's on the Cryo Archive waiting for
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
So it's been teased through terminals in the game.
Yep, he's been reaching out to us with his voice lines from time to time.
The beautiful Ben Starr with his
Yeah.
raspy voice.
What an inspired choice for the actor to voice this character, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And we he was the first voice we heard when we saw the short like that short animated film that we had.
Mm-hmm. Ozymandias, King of Kings, yeah.
Exactly. So he just this whole voice cast is also just pretty stacked. It's amazing
Yeah.
talent in it. That just still baffles me, which makes me feel like there's a lot to it. And bear in mind, like I've found lots of certain items that the more you find certain things in certain factions for your codex,
You
like
get lore and audio logs,
you
yeah.
get audio logs, which is fantastic. I love when games add audio logs to things like
The
this.
tone of them is genuinely so creepy too. It gives me like some of the creepiest and most haunting moments of, series like The Expanse, right? Like
Yes, yes.
it definitely hits me with those kind of vibes.
Yeah, I would agree. But there I want to talk about how the game itself is two different games when you're with someone
Hmm.
as a team or as if you're by
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah, yeah,
I feel like when you're with a team, it goes way faster. That I feel like even though the time limit is the same, it feels like it's way more action packed. Like you're gonna bump into way more teams. You're going to just always feel more confident killing the UESE.
yeah.
And then you play by yourself, and it's like a fucking horror game.
Yeah, every action you take solo is like full of consequence in a way that like really weighs on you, you know? Like being
Absolutely.
detected by bots and having to shoot them like feels so bad, like in a good way as a solo.
Yeah, I would 100% agree. Like a while ago, I was having a game. I was just like going and doing some stuff, and I just cleared out a toxin biohazard area,
Hmm.
and I just like, wow, okay, that I just got it done. And then there was a guy underneath me, but I didn't know that he's like the exfil beside me because I hadn't looked at the map yet. I didn't know it was a guarded exfil, so I downed him, and then I finish him, and then I just see this purple shield USE, and I was like, whoa, wait, what? And it's like, oh no, it's a X, like an X guarded exfil. So I had to like completely rechange my strategy and just run to the side, and just heal up, and then just wait. Like if I was with a team, that they'd just be all dead straight away. Like
Yeah, yeah.
everything is just like so much more difficult by yourself, and that's a good thing. Don't, like it is a very good thing. I'm not complaining that it isn't. It is a very good thing.
Yeah.
Like there is a learning curve, but I like this is one of those games. I think you might agree with me. After you put more than 2 to 3 hours, all the bits and pieces connect in the game. Like, oh wait, okay,
Yeah.
this is what this happened. It's
I think this game, like every single incremental improvement you make to your gameplay and to your understanding is something that feels so incredibly good. Like it really rewards you and makes you feel smart for slowly understanding how to play more and more. And I think that what's really cool about that is it's transferable to like all the different, gameplay modes, as it were. You have trios, you have solos, and then you have Rook, which is like a totally different experience in and of itself.
yeah, I agree. Did you see that on the actual game itself? Like when you load into like prepare map, it just shows redacted as the fourth map. So it's
Yeah,
and you're just like, oh come on, when are we gonna get to
yeah.
when are we gonna get to see this?
I
Funny,
have to say, it's really cool the way that like unlocking the fourth map is working. It's something that, let's say, uh, what's an example I can draw to? I guess like Helldivers, in a way, like a lot of
c-
Helldivers
com-
players might find this familiar.
like community events and stuff like that.
Y- Yeah, like the idea that like we're not unlocking this map solely by the developer's whim, like we're unlocking it by solving puzzles as a player base.
Yeah, like
And
the sooner we like figure out things, the sooner we get it. But there is a deadline either way for it to be released. But
yeah,
obviously, us actually having to scramble around the map, look at all this information, like it is pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
yeah. That's
And
something I think is really awesome. It like really makes runners be part of the narrative because that's why we're here. We're here to uncover and unearth the mysteries of Tau Ceti 4, right?
absolutely. And with the pros and cons of this game, I I want to go through the pros, which would be the first thing after the gate would be the gunplay. Like
Yes, absolutely
Bungie
incredible.
Bungie just know how to make a good first person shooter. They
Yep.
just do. It's just I don't know
That's
how
never
you feel.
changed.
Yeah, like the. Do you have a favorite gun?
To
D-
be sincere, I love the bully. I've tried so many guns, but like the bully SMG, there's just something about it. It feels so good.
Yeah, no, I am in the same boat as you. I currently have like a purple rarity one. I'm rocking a thermal scope on it, which makes it that, being honest with you, as well as the scout rifle, which is the repeater HPR.
Yeah, yeah, that one's
Abs,
quite good.
I love just using that also, man, dude. It's so good.
It's a bot killer. Like it's very ammo efficient at it too.
Yeah, those heavy rounds just pop away from a distance, and you're all good to go.
Hmm.
With more pros, I think it's just the sound design of the game.
Yeah, and that's really important because in this game, sound is helping you a lot more than just whatever you can see on your screen.
Absolutely, absolutely, like, especially the direct, like how directional it is as well. Like
Hmm.
when you're used to the map, like you hear one subtle thing go off from a distance. Oh, that's over in a complex or over in maintenance.
Yeah, every sound has like a very distinct body and a very distinct like signature and identity. And like when you play the game for a while, like you can immediately know what something sounds like and what different sounds mean. And that's one of those things that makes playing the game a lot like feel really rewarding and really good because when you're a new player, every sound you hear is terrifying because you
Absolutely,
don't know what any of it means. You don't know whether it means something is dangerous or whether it just means that, you know, normal things are happening and like you don't need to be alarmed, right? Especially a lot of the UESC related sounds, like those very heavy, creaky, industrial, like blaring sirens and like the
brr,
groan of metal,
brr.
right? Like all of that,
Yeah,
like when you're new, it just like freaks you out because you don't know if that means they're aggroed on you or not, right? But the more you play the game, the more you understand what every sound means and, you know, how much you should pay attention to each one and it's really cool.
absolutely. Like literally every single event has its own audio cue. So sometimes there is a drone that flows across the map and it'll have a supply drop, but once you shoot it, once it hits the floor, it sets off a pinging noise basically. And you,
Hmm.
if you're experienced enough, you'll know that's a supply drop that was shot down. Then there's the actual supply drop that you can call in, and everyone kind of knows because they can see the ship drop down.
Yeah.
And one thing I also find really cool is when you can see the exfil points of where someone is about to.
Yeah, yeah.
So like the visual cue is like, oh, I was about to make my way there, but I can see 200 meters from here that there it's already going to be exfil. So I'm not going to make there in 200 meters. I got to re-divert my plan to something else.
Yeah.
And
What's really cool is also depending on how strong you're feeling, you can use that to inform your approach. Like if you're feeling really strong, you can use that very aggressively and see if you can like poach them and hunt them down before they can leave the map. Whereas if you're feeling a little bit, you know, down on your luck, you don't have that many resources, maybe you've taken a bunch of damage, you don't have a lot of healing, right? Like you see that exfil beacon go up and you're like, okay, I'm gonna like give them some time and stay away from that, right? Like because you
absolutely.
know once it's gone, you know, if you're playing in trios, that's like three other players just gone, right? Like,
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I remember, I've been kind of moving myself out of this habit, but for a while I was. Whenever I saw the timer, I was like, "Oh, I've got 4 minutes. I should pretty X one out." It's like I keep forgetting that there's always going to be one more final uh exfil on the
yeah,
map, and then having to try and rush there along with whoever else is on the map. That also significantly changes the game, like the gameplay, like within the last like few moments of the game,
mm-hmm.
which is
It's a
also
scramble for sure.
it's so intense. Like there are then there's also like I don't know if you've had this experience, but the game is very shoot on side. Like it's very rare that you'll have someone
It is, yeah.
that'll talk. Like sometimes you'll hear some people and then you talk to them, and then but it's really, really, really rare.
I've had maybe two non-hostile encounters with other players in my entire time playing the game. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Which in a way it makes them feel so much more special than when the de facto like status quo is for everyone to be friendly, which is something that, you know, uh, obviously everyone has their preference, but that is something I found made our creators feel a little bit dry for me. Whereas
yeah,
like Marathon, I'm always like on the knife's edge, right? Like, you know,
Arachne would never.
Yeah, Arachne would never like trust no one, right? Like,
Yes. Like I think there was this one time where there was four rooks and we all just made our way to the final exfil just crouching. We all had our knives out. Like that's like,
mm,
but none of us spoke, but it was just like a written rule that none of us would hit each other, and we were all just like
yes,
all exfil. Like things like that are cool, but like obviously there was the whole controversy of VoIP not being added, and maybe there was a reason for that. That they kind of knew from like playtesting and stuff that people weren't talking to each other, but having that option is always a good thing. Um,
yeah. I've had some fun moments in proximity chat for sure.
yeah, like me and my friends would literally like see a team and they're like, wait, 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 and it's like we'd say this is an Arc Raiders buddy, and we just like finish them, and then it would be so good. But some of the cons about the game, I can't think of really gameplay wise. Can you think of any main gameplay wise now? And I know it's not to sound biased or anything towards the game. It's just that I legitimately can't think of many.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff that they've people have already addressed in the community, and they're kind of already working on it. So their
Yeah, that's
responses
the
have been
thing.
fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I did have some things that could conceivably be considered, you know, downsides, but those are things that Bungie have already acknowledged and are already, you know, working on. And so, um, one of them is just how much or how little things stack in our vaults.
Oh, absolutely.
Um,
Bungie
so
sure do know how to make a terrible vault.
yeah, yeah, it's you know, for better and worse, right? Like
Yeah.
it's on the one hand it's fun to like have that pressure and that like strain and be incentivized to like actually use your stuff or at the very least sell it. But
Mm.
on the other hand, like I do think that if you're a new player, like brand new, you have a lot of like economic pressure from every angle that you kind of like don't really have a super whole lot of recourse with
Yeah.
regard to. Uh, but now they're kind of addressing a little bit of that by making bullets stack more,
Thank God.
which I think is really smart. And I talked about this briefly with my friends, but I think this is a very intelligent design change. And the reason why it's a very intelligent design change is that it helps players' economy without actually changing how quickly we gain anything, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so, like, they're not messing with the acquisition rate of any resource in the game. It's just that we have less strain on our storage, which, you know, is also smart because that is a singular variable. And so if they find that it's an overcorrection and it's too much, then they can tune down how much bullets stack if they see fit. But, you know, that is just a single thing instead of having to tweak like 3 or 4 different things, which would be the acquisition rate of other resources. So I think that's just like a very smart, very conscientious change that, you know, it addresses the situation without kind of destabilizing the system en masse, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, 100% agree. Like, I'm just looking through my vault right now, and the amount of bullets that I have that I just need to just put in my backpack from now on or something. Because, like, I just think it's ridiculous that the vault batteries only stack at three,
Yeah.
and I have like one, two, three, four, five, six. I have seven of them, so it's rough. That's rough. Especially because of the amount of materials that this game kind of incentivizes you to gather for your
Yeah.
for your armory. So it's like
Salvage is the main wealth in Marathon. You know, guns are impermanent. You can just rebuy the grays and then put colored mods on them to change your rarity whenever you please, but
exactly.
salvage is what determines all of your progression. And so, you know, the more you play in a season, the more that is going to tax your vault space.
Yes,
So
100%. Couldn't agree more. Uh, the only other con I kind of have is the store, but like when I was originally writing in my review, like literally the next day they addressed it,
yeah.
and I was just like, "Are you
From
serious?"
in the beginning, there was just like not that much enticing in it for most players. I mean, people are kind of going crazy about the White Rabbit thief skin, which admittedly is very very nice.
Yeah, that's pretty
But
cool.
other than that, there's not like that much exciting to
Like,
grab. In terms of cons, like I think the only other thing I can think of is just that it's just that the game is very new,
yeah,
right? So like there's not that much stuff in it, but I think that is more than fair considering we haven't even unlocked everything that exists yet,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. Like, there's what? How many guns are in this game? I haven't seen maybe half of them,
Yeah.
which has me question what in God's name is coming whenever they release the new map. But the like obviously the reward pass, it's bit that bit of a big letdown because you can only get the Vandal skin. There's no I'm a destroyer main, so I had to it was like, okay, I'm going to purchase the 20 euro destroyer skin because it looks sick, and that's the only way I'm going to get it. Like the in-game skins are not too bad. Like I don't know how many you've unlocked. Pretty
I've
chill.
unlocked a fair few, like the ones you can get from doing various challenges in the codex, you mean?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I quite like those. I've unlocked a fair few, especially because, exfilling with a sponsored kit gives you a reputation for that faction.
Yeah.
Um, I quite enjoy a lot of the Cyber Acme ones, to be honest. Like the black with the green highlights, I don't know, it's just kind of nice.
Yeah, no, that is pretty cool. I did rock it for a little bit until I bought the skin. I was like, I don't know if they're gonna add anything here, so I just buy it. And then obviously, long and behold, they announced that each other uh, shell was getting one. And I was like, oh well,
hmm
okay. I think the Rook might need some cooler skins. I don't think he has any, does he?
I don't think he does. No, Rook is something that can't really be customized. I mean, like you can get capstone upgrades, but those are mechanical improvements that
Yeah, and the
you
only
start
thing
with.
that you can get with him is a knife. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Which I think on the one hand I understand like Rook is meant to kind of blend in with UESC,
Yeah, that's true.
Clankers unite, etc. Right? Like I love watching players like play Rook on streams or whatever, and they hit their like blend button, and they just start like pretending to be like one of them. It's like, hello, brothers. Like, yes, let us fight against the scummy runners, right? Like,
Yeah, no, I'm really, really I'd say like my final thoughts on this game. Like people, like there's people out there, and I know it's like X/Twitter, like there are people that just constantly watch a player count when it goes down for maintenance. Oh, it's dropped by 30K. People are
I
not
don't
making the.
understand why those people just don't play games they love.
I don't know.
Like it's so odd to me. Like I cannot fathom. Like there are plenty of games I dislike or even hate out there, but it's like you will not see me wasting my time like preying on their downfall. I'm just gonna go play something I find sick, right? Like
Absolutely, absolutely. I like before Marathon came out, I was basically in a rush. I had been trying platinuming all the Devil May Cry games, and then I had to play through Resident Evil Requiem,
oh,
and
good game. I really enjoyed that.
a fantastic game. Uh, and then I was like, okay, that's all done. My hands are up. It's just Marathon for the next till Crimson Desert comes out, and then hopefully that game as well. But I adore Marathon. I love when I finish work, I come home and I'm like, I'll play a few runs, maybe a Rook run, see if I get anything valuable.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
chill.
like people nowadays love to just find the next bad thing and trash it.
I've noticed that it's a joke I kind of make with my friends where it's like I get this sense that a lot of gamers in 2026 they don't really
Tourists.
do that much gaming. Their hobby rather than playing video games is just finding something to be angry about, right? Like that
Absolutely.
that's their hobby. Like that's the thing that they have fun with, and it's like, whatever. Like you do you, right? But personally, I like playing games, so that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. So, do you have any final thoughts about Marathon?
Mostly, I'm just looking forward to the immediate future and the distant future of this game. I think it's a game that is already so enjoyable right now. It's fun on your own, it's fun with friends. The world is just unbelievably captivating. There is something to be said about like the almost ethereal, dreamlike feel of all the maps. When you're just roaming around in them and you're being quiet and just like observing your surroundings.
Absolutely. I do
Especially
that
like
so much. I do it way too much.
yeah, like you just yeah, you're in this like hazy, like dreamlike vibe, and there's something that the game just gets this insane gravitas as a result of that. And it also makes sense. It feeds into how you want to approach play, right? Like you want to be subtle, you want to not expose yourself, and I think that they go hand in hand in that regard. Like the aesthetics of this game fit its gameplay pretty much flawlessly for me. And I'm just curious to see what we'll experience as a player base, where this is going to go. Outpost is such a different map from Dire Marsh and Perimeter that it's sort of, you know, it immediately made me feel like, okay, so they can just do anything. Like they can do whatever they want, right?
Hmm.
Which means they can catch us off guard in like a myriad of ways. So that has me more curious about Cryo Archive than anything. And like you can feel that we are so close now. Like we are basically just about to get it. And that to me is a very exciting time. It's one of those games where I'm very grateful to be able to play it alongside everyone else, like in these early moments. And I think that's a really cool feeling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's probably about it when it comes to the marathon discussion. Like, I think that there will be way more said in the next week when it comes to Cryo Archive. Like, people that are actually going to be able to play through it anyway.
Mhm.
And I'm just so excited. I'm prepared. Just get me on that. Just get me on that map.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna be eagerly waiting to see the map just unlock.
I fully expect to load in and then just like die unceremoniously within like the first 5 minutes or so, and I won't even mind because that's what it's all about. Like we're gonna go in, we're gonna figure it out. It's gonna take time, but it's gonna be hard, and I think that we all kind of like want that, right? Like
Absolutely. Like, I just hope that it's good. But I have full faith in Bungie. I feel
I
like
believe,
I believe that it's going to be just fine. It's gonna be badass. I
yeah.
wonder if it's a case where we unlock a certain parts of the map that lead us to like the middle of marathon, where we will then have the option to fight the final boss and then get loot. But
Yeah, that's kind of what it's sounding like from the little, Vidocs and previous developer interviews that like there is a sequence of chambers or vaults that we can open,
yeah,
and at the end of the final one there is like a formidable foe of some kind, which presumably is a compiler.
yeah,
Um, so that'll be really interesting. Worth mentioning, the frost status has not existed in the game until you know, presumably cryo archive, even though the hardware stat when you hover over it, it does mention that it resists and or cleanses frost.
really.
So yeah.
So do you think there'd be
So
new? You think there'd be new sort of mechanic packs or like standard cleanse consumables?
the
Oh,
hardware, the
yes,
mechanics
the mechanics.
kit
Yeah, it
already
says
cleanses
Swiss Frost.
frost.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
we
it's just
haven't.
that like we haven't been exposed to frost on any other map. So like undoubtedly that is a cryo archive mechanic, and I also wonder if it interplays with our heat gauge. Right? Like
Oh,
if we're frosted or if we're having frost buildup,
can we
does it
just
make sense to like
run? Like just
yeah, or
run?
like
Yeah.
hit a cheeky air dash as destroyer and just like vent a bunch of your frost, right?
Yeah, that's yeah, I never thought about it that way. That yeah, the way.
Like just think about what they could do, right? Like
Oh my god, dude, that makes me even more excited.
Yeah.
Oh man, I am so excited, but we are probably just a day or two away, I'd say, depending on. I know that some content creators are currently deep into trying to crack open the code of trying to unlock that map.
Yeah. Yeah. Scarrow has been on the front lines of that.
Oh, absolutely. I see that he's like currently streaming doing that now. Is there anything else that we want to say before we say goodbye and just probably no life this game for the rest of the weekend?
I'm feeling pretty good about the conversation we've had. I think if I could just say one thing, if you're a player who has looked at this game and if it looks even remotely interesting to you, or if it looks cool or unique to you, or you've watched any of the trailers or whatever and you're curious, like just try it out for yourself if you have the opportunity, and it may surprise you. Like I think the story of this universe and like the vibe of this game, like it's very Armored Core, right? Like you're a mercenary who, no one really cares about you. You're just in it for the payday, right? But there are mysteries to uncover that go beyond, you know, a simple paycheck, right? And
Absolutely.
those like really spooky, like almost cosmic horror vibes are really gonna hit, I feel like.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's been our, I'd say, fairly deep first impressions of the game.
Hmm.
And yeah, if anyone wants to contact you or reach out to you, where can they find you, Leo?
So I am on YouTube, on youtube.com/LeoKRogue. I'm also on Twitter or X, also LeoKRogue. And those would be decent places to find me, I think. I'm also on Blue Sky, same thing, LeoKRogue.
Awesome.
But that's about it.
Dude, I appreciate having you on.
Thank you. Yeah, you're really fun to talk to. I'm always happy to guest here and talk about whatever game we happen to have both played. I know you play a wide variety of games,
Yeah,
and
like
so
my
do I.
current toolbar for my PlayStation right now is Marathon, Assassin's Creed Unity, Castlevania, the Advanced Collection, Resi 9,
Oh,
and
nice, nice.
Kenner Bridge of Spirits, along with the Devil May Cry collection. So, yeah, all very different games. Very
Hmm.
Capcom oriented, if I'm being completely honest with you. With
I
the
love Capcom.
Yeah,
Yeah, so many of their games are just very like gameplay rich, and that's something that I just really love nowadays.
yeah. But thanks for everyone for listening, and we will probably catch you in the next one. We might meet up again to chat about the Cryo Archive or something like
Hmm.
that, or like have quick thoughts. But yeah, thanks everyone, and see you later.
Thank you.